Right, it's a new day. I've ordered some bits for the seal, so I've got to wait for them to turn up before we go too much further. I haven't cut any more into it, even though it's a new day. That's as we left it. I don't want to start cutting into it and then have to wait a week for stuff to turn up, because it's obviously Christmas now, so it's going to be a little bit of a delay with getting some bits and pieces. So I'm just going to leave that where it is. I know what I'm getting into. So I've ordered a whole load of plate to make jacking point, some sheet steel. But I found this kicking around at home. So there's a saloon front half of seal. So we're going to use that. I'm sure some of you are aware, some of you might not be. The coupe seals aren't available, not to my knowledge. So your only option if you've got a rusty seal on your 36 coupe is to either cut it off a breaker, which, let's be honest, no one's going to break a non-rusty coupe in 2023. Use the saloon seals. There's two types on eBay. There's a pair for 100 quid, which they're only 0.8 mil thick, and then there's a pair that are 1 mil thick. I think they're 130 quid. I think I've got the 0.8 mil ones. I don't know why I bought those. I don't think I was aware that the thicker type is available. I'll probably buy the 1 mil thick ones in future. But anyway, we've got this, so that's what we'll use. So I'm gonna leave that where it is, wait for the rest of the bits and pieces to turn up. Anyway, we've had some goodies delivered. So as promised, our new lovely intake boot. So if you've got a non-traction control M52, then that's the part number you need, 1703588. And there she is, single port straight on there. And then the idle control valve hose, there she is as well, part numbers for that. I think they were pretty expensive. They were like 60 quid for the pair from BMW, so not cheap these days. I might keep the old ones and see if I can get some made out of silicone or something, just because these are getting expensive from the dealer now. And obviously they don't last forever. You'll probably only get, I don't know, maybe 10 years out of that at best, I guess. Anyway, so let's get that slapped on, and we've got the airboxes to put back together, so we can start doing that. Nice and easy. We like it easy. Gosh, it's alternator cooling done. I can't remember if they have a Jubilee clamp there or not. I don't think they do. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Get this intake boot changed. Trusty MAF, Jubilee, another Jubilee, there's our intake boot. This plastic piece we need to keep. So there's our knackered boot. Not actually that bad, but just for peace of mind, it's replaced. Right, so we've got to change the idle control valve hose next. Another genuine BMW part. So to get access, I'm just going to whip the throttle body off, because it just gives us a bit better access to get in there. And it's only 4 bolts. And then we've got much better access to get at this idle control valve. So we've just got the one Jubilee clip. That comes off lovely. Just be careful if you're under here. This pushes into like a big rubber grommet, up into the inlet manifold, and if you're too heavy-handed you can pull it out and you end up with a massive vacuum leak. So just make sure when you start touching under here everything is sort of back where it was if you disturb this, because that will pull out quite easily. But that's the hose we're replacing. So usually this end is usually fine, it's this end where the throttle body lives that ends up like that, and then you end up with an air leak. Another reason not to run cone filters on these engines, although they suffer really bad with heat soak, especially on like in hot weather. If you run a cone filter that isn't properly secured, you'll end up stressing this hose, and then if this hose gets stressed, obviously you'll have to replace it. It's more money, but also you'll end up with vacuum leaks, blah blah blah. So cone filters on these cars, if you're going to do it, it needs a proper heat shield and it needs to be braced up and secured properly, otherwise you're just going to give yourself issues like this. That said, this does just happen over time with usual fatigue of rubber parts, but you can bet your bottom dollar if you've got a 36 and it's 10 years old and been owned by some old granny for 10 years, this hose will be bad, and probably the intake boot. So we'll reuse the Jubilee clip in the bin for that bit. Genuine BMW. BMW Mini Rolls Royce. Right, I'm not pulling that off, I can't be bothered. Anyway, that's what we want. Right, now we can stick the throttle body back on. E92 M3 I just heard. Alright, throttle body done. Get our throttle potential or throttle positioning sensor, whatever it's called. Can't remember what it's called, something like that. And then a lovely intake boot. So we've got to remember to put our little plastic bung in first. Again, it's a job for some grease. Lovely job. And then make sure we get our Jubilee clip on first. And then we can push that into the bottom of our hose. And then onto the throttle body. Right, she's all happy. So let's nip that up. Next Jubilee clip. MAF. Don't know why, but it always feels good fitting genuine BMW parts. It's like you've treated the car to the special stuff, and it's like, yeah, it feels good. So although I have a aftermarket parts business, and most of the stuff I sell is non-genuine aftermarket brands, some stuff you just can't beat for OEM quality. Some, not all. Right, that's all lovely, so that's back to where we started, and then we've just got to chuck our airbox in. And there is our intake pipe as well. Can't remember if we put that in first. Let's see what happens. There we go. Lovely job. Straight on there. line that up. What's not helpful is there should be a couple of metal tabs on my airbox and they're both missing, so I'll have to dig them out, find some of them. Anyway, that's on, we can nip that up. That's all of our airbox and stuff fitted. You can see this isn't fitting very well. There should be a metal tab that goes here and here. The airbox isn't broken, which is good, so I just need to find the tabs. These do love to snap off, so that can be a problem, but yeah, they look alright. So I've just got to find those, and then obviously that will sit nicely in there. But that's all done. So stock airbox throughout, stock intake boot, all of that stuff, all in there, lovely. Right, and the last job for the engine is to replace this dodgy O2 sensor. I did manage to find some more at home, some used genuine ones, so they're untested, but I'm just gonna have to chuck them in one by one and see if they're good or if they're not. So let's try that, and then we can run her up and see if she still throws a code. Right, you're probably not going to see anything, but I'm going to show you where the O2 sensors live on these. So bear with me, I'll do my best. Right, so this is your downpipe for banks 1 to 3, and there's obviously a manifold that bolts to, so your O2 sensor for that one is here. And then for banks 4 to 6, so the rear 3 cylinders of the engine, your manifold is there, and your O2 sensor plumbs in here, so very tight access. What I've done is I've already fed the new, or one of the new O2 sensors down from the top of the engine, just plugged it in so it doesn't fall down, and then hopefully you can sort of guide that in. What I tend to do is, if I twist the O2 sensor in the opposite direction quite a few times, and then when you wind it in, it will sort of untwist itself, and you won't have too many snags in the wire. That's the plan anyway. There we go, she's in the hole. And then just wind that in as much as you can by hand. There we go, and once you get it so far, just nip it up. If you notice there, the cable sort of wrapping around on itself, that's something you've got to be careful of. That's why it's ideal, if you can, just to wind it the other way. We can probably figure it out from the top. There we go. And then lastly, just give it a good nip up with the 22mm. Usually you can do them up sort of 95% of the way by hand anyway, so just literally got to do a final nip up with a spanner. There we go, it's not too bad from underneath. That's done. So I haven't routed that properly. I've just plugged it into there. And now we can start her up and see if her codes are gone. Right, battery's all hooked up. Diagnosis machine is on. Code reader. Get her started. See what codes we've got. Clear those, and then hopefully no more codes. No! So we've got another bad O2 sensor. Right. We can verify it's that one as well. We swap these over. Unplug this one. Plug that one in. is although it will throw a code for the front one, because it's obviously unplugged, we just want to make sure that the code follows the sensor. So if we clear codes and then rescan, yeah, so obviously 1 to 3, we know we're going to get a code because there's nothing plugged in, but the code has followed the O2 sensor. So that one I've just put in is no good, so that's good for the bin as well. I've got one more sensor to try, so I'll do that off camera and then we can scan it again. Right, you join me 10 minutes later. I've swapped out the other O2 sensor, so both of those are bad, or at least I think they are. So let's start her up and see if the code remains. Right, code's cleared, re-trouble code, come on. Oh dear. So it stays. It's still throwing a code for it. What that's basically telling me is, of the 4 O2 sensors that I've got, even though they're all genuine, 3 of them are no good. This is a small problem because I don't think I have any others, so I'm going to have to go digging, see if I can find some more. I'm going to check with BMW, see how much the new one is. It probably isn't that dear. But yeah, super annoying. So as you can see, old cars are fun. But yeah, you wouldn't look at them and say there's anything wrong. If anyone knows a way of actually testing these, fixing these, whatever, I would love to know, because they're, in my mind, a pretty simple thing. But yeah, I don't know how you can fix them or what actually fails on them that makes the car throw a code. But yeah, if you know how, why or what, drop a comment below. If not, I guess I'll go and buy some new ones, or buy a new one, because yeah, we still have a bad O2 sensor and we need 2 and we only have 1 good one, so super annoying. Anyway, that's enough for today's video. A bit more progress, so we know what's going on with the seal now. Got the materials ordered, so hopefully that arrives pretty soon and we can get that smashed out. Obviously it's crusty, we knew that. The O2 sensor problem, it's not really a big deal, I just need to get a good sensor, but all of the used ones that I thought I had are no good, so that's it. I just need to spend some money, I think. And then obviously all of our lovely stock airbox with nice new OEM intake boot and idle control valve hose is now in, which is great. So that's all buttoned up, and I've got to find these clips. So this is the joys of building old cars and having stuff in multiple places. Everything's always in bits and it's so easy to lose track of stuff. It may be that those were missing in the first place, I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, just more fun car shenanigans, especially E36 shenanigans. As most of you know, they are a pain in the arse. Anyway, have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year, and cheers for watching, and thank you for all the support I've had so far this year. Obviously I will get the goods together for the welding video and get that out to you as soon as possible, but obviously I'm waiting on delivery, so I can't physically do anything else with this car now. But yeah, I should get some content out early January for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, enjoy the new year and take care.